What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update for you guys, and quite a lot to get through today, actually. But before we do, go check out our website, as you can see in the bottom corner of the screen, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk. The link is also in the description below, and you get your daily written content on there, and as well as merchandise. Go and check it out. But let's get into the Tottenham update, and I think we should start off with the good news today, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not much.
Let's start off with the good news, and it's the October awards results have been finalised, and Ange Postecoglou has been named Premier League Manager of the Month for a third month in a row, in 3 out of 3 for Ange Postecoglou. I don't think he's going to be getting the 4th in a row, seeing as we have lost our first game of the season, but it's history in the Premier League. The first manager ever to come into a Premier League and win 3 Manager of the Month in a row.
And he's now one behind Pochettino his whole time at Spurs. Only 3 other managers have won 3 Manager of the Months in a row. Do you know who they are? He's in good company, I can tell you that.
Pep Guardiola,
yep.
And is it Jurgen Klopp?
And another one. And one more?
Ferguson.
Antonio Conte.
Oh, Conte.
When he was at Chelsea. So he's in very good company in terms of managers who have been able to win 3 in a row. And I think in each of those seasons, they each won the league as well. So don't want to say anything, but given our injury crisis, we'll get into soon. But look, fair play to him. He's done unbelievable since he's come into the club.
How Spursy is that? The only manager to win it?
Yeah, no, we're not going to win the league. Yeah, probably. That sounds like proper Spurs. But obviously had a brilliant month, won all 3 games, and I think it's credit to him. Hopefully he doesn't suffer from any Manager of the Month curse, which maybe we're already starting to get hit by. But
Manager of the Month curse. I mean, how many managers of the month does it take for him to suffer a curse?
3. A hat-trick. He gets a hat-trick, then he starts getting cursed. But look, I'm delighted for him. I think it's good reward for another brilliant month for him, which was October. Yeah,
in terms of player of the month, Mo Salah won it, so Cuti Romero got beaten. So that's the first award in the Premier League this year that's not gone to a Spurs man or player manager.
Hopefully it's the last.
Yeah, let's hope it's the last. And actually, Jamie Donnelly won the PL2 Player of the Month this month as well. So some more awards going to Spurs for the great work that Jamie Donnelly has been doing. But look, I've been trying to put this off for the video, but let's get into the bad news.
If you don't say it, it's not true.
And let's start off with James Maddison, as Matt Law says that Maddison's ankle injury is believed to be worse than originally assumed. Fabrizio Romano says that Maddison has withdrawn from the England squad, as Tottenham now fear the ankle injury could be worse than first expected. Growing expectations that he's facing a long layoff, as Matt Law reported. Postecoglou will explain more today in his press conference. We had official confirmation from Spurs as well, and they said, we can confirm that James Maddison has withdrawn from the England squad due to an ankle injury. The midfielder will not feature in England's Euro qualifiers against Malta and North Macedonia, and will remain at Hotspur Way for rehabilitation with the club's medical staff. And Paul O'Keefe says that Maddison has suffered from an ongoing recurring issue in his ankle and is now being discovered that the ligaments are damaged. Initial indications suggest that a period of 1 to 3 months recovery time.
Yeah, important to know, none of this is official, but there's no smoke without fire, obviously, and it's absolutely gutting news about James Maddison, who, as we've repeatedly said on this channel, has probably been one of, if not the best player in the Premier League this season for the first 11 games. He's probably been a talisman, been an unbelievable leader in the group, and we saw when he went off against Chelsea, obviously it was an off-the-ball incident where he kind of rolled his ankle. The fact that he was included in the England squad gave us a bit of hope that hopefully it wasn't going to be too bad, but it turns out it's a lot worse than everyone could have feared. And if it is, even if it's a month out, look, if it's a month out, it's not too bad considering we have an international break coming up. But if it's going to be 2 to 3 months out, that is, especially with December coming up where we have 7 games coming thick and fast, a very little respite as well. It's going to be really difficult, now and impossible, to replace that creativity that he's been supplying. And I guess it's up to I'm going to assume it's probably up to Lo Celso now to step into those shoes. I'm guessing this is the reason why we kept him in and around the squad for this kind of scenario, and so it's up to him to step in. But we know he's got his own injury problems, so whether he can stay fit is another question. But it's a massive blow. It's a massive blow, and when it rains, it pours for Tottenham at the moment with all this injury news, and it's absolutely gutting. we were thinking how we're going to cope without Van der Ven, and now we're going to have to think about how we're going to cope without Maddison for a prolonged period as well.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I think like we can probably just about survive if only one of them was to get injured, but like all of this together, I mean, I don't know how we're going to carry on, to be honest, how we're going to get consistently good results with two really, really important players for us injured, two of our standout performers so far in the Premier League this year. Van der Ven, I mean, they both have such specific attributes that nobody in our squad can replicate. That's just the facts of the matter, especially Van der Ven with the recovery pace. Maddison, like you say, been if not the best player in the Premier League so far this season, the creative hub of the team, everything's been going through him. So, I mean, if you could have asked me for two of those detrimental injuries, long-term injuries, I probably would have said those two. And they've both come at the same time. And if both of them are out for 3 months, I mean, that is going to be detrimental to our season. It really will. Do you think that we can still get top four, though, with these two players out for 3 months?
Well, luckily, because we've had a great first 10 games, we've given ourselves a bit of a buffer. So means maybe, I'm not saying we can go 3 months without winning a game and get top four, but it means hopefully if we can keep plugging away, getting results in the next 3 months, like obviously we're not going to be getting in the next 10 games is not going to be 8 wins and 2 draws. But if we can, get 5 wins and a couple of draws and with a few defeats, yes, there'll be a downside in form, but I think that can just about sustain us for a top 4 challenge over the next couple of months. I think we can still do it. The biggest fear is obviously Van der Ven, but I think with Maddison out, obviously it's a massive blow, but I think Lo Celso's, I'm not saying Lo Celso can provide what Maddison can do, but I think he can do something. I think he can provide something for us if he can stay fit and he can play to his best. I think there's a good player there, and I think I'm not saying he can replace Maddison by any stretch, but what I'm saying is he can provide some sort of creativity for us in his absence. So hopefully that can kind of not completely make up for Maddison, but help kind of maintain some sort of chance creation while he's gone.
Yeah, I really hope so. I mean, I do believe in Lo Celso's quality to a certain degree, but it's the fitness thing with him. Like every time he plays, it seems like he plays one game, misses 3 months. You know what I mean? That's what Lo Celso's all about. So I don't know. I have my reservations about Lo Celso if we can keep him fit.
Maybe Kulu, move him to the centre, play Hill on the right.
See, I think
option.
That's the one for me. I think Kulu moving into the centre can really kind of fill that void that Maddison leaves. I'm not sure about Lo Celso just because of the injury problems. But if we can keep Lo Celso fit, there is an option there. We saw in pre-season how good he can be. But the times he has played this season, the game at Fulham, a few cameos in the Premier League, he just hasn't filled any of us with confidence.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been great when given the opportunity, but if he's fit on the weekend, I want to give him that opportunity again from the start in a Premier League game and tell him, look, this is your chance now. You got to step into the team if you want to be part of it. Otherwise, you might as well ship off in January if he's not going to get a chance while Maddison's out. Yeah,
look, I wouldn't even mind like moving Kulu into the middle and Brian Hill on the right, or Brennan Johnson on the right, Brian Hill on the left, or even keep Brennan on the left. And if he doesn't want to use Brian Hill, then use Pedro Porro at right wing or something like that. Like
we're lacking fullbacks.
We're lacking but look, I was actually saying before, like I wouldn't mind seeing Pape Sarr as an inverted fullback. I think he could work there. He's got the energy. He's got the he's got everything that
you want to put Porro wing and move Sarr to fullback?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit too much, isn't it? You don't want to completely change everything.
Yeah, but we got such bad injuries. Like we have to sort out something. We have to come to some sort of way that we can play our football. And I think Pedro Porro as an inverted fullback, he'll be pretty much playing in midfield anyway. And he's got the tank to really use his recovery pace and stamina and everything like that. So I think if it needs to get to that, I think Sarr can play that role.
Potentially. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, yeah. But there's also worries about Porro playing, but we'll get into that. Maybe we will, but maybe not. But there's also worries about him potentially being injured for the weekend as well. But it's a very worrying situation. But the one thing that gives me confidence, though, is the fact that if it was Conte, I'd be a lot more worried about like being able to sustain performance level, because he's a lot more focused on individuals rather than the team structure. Under Postecoglou, I'm more confident that we can at least maintain a competitive performance level even with these injuries.
You're looking at the squad now with the injuries that we have. The squad is pretty much worse than what Conte had last season.
What with these injuries?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously we've got
much worse.
We've got a lot of injuries.
Much worse. You're looking at the players that Conte had minus Harry Kane. That's what we've got at our disposal now.
Yeah, it's true. But still, I've still maintained that I think Ange can get a competitive performance level out of this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be more competitive to maybe what we saw the back end of last season under Conte, but I don't know, when we come up against quality after this game against Wolves, when we face the Villas, the Man Cities, the Newcastles, I fear for us massively.
Yeah,
I really do.
Then, and you look, we can't have excuses. Newcastle have their own injury problems, don't they? De Bruyne got a big injury at the beginning of the season. Like, every team has their injury problems. So,
look, every team do have their injury problems, but I feel like ours are worse than everyone's. Like, literally, the players that have stood up for us all season and who we've been raving about all season are out. Our best players.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I think that Ange can hopefully can still get a tune out of the players that he has at disposal. I don't think he's going to be crying over spilled milk, is my point.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. But very hard few months ahead for Tottenham Hotspur, that's for sure. But the injury problems don't stop there, because let's talk about Richarlison now, as we got official confirmation from Spurs yesterday saying that we can confirm that Richarlison has undergone a groin surgery today. The Brazil international will commence his rehabilitation with our medical staff immediately before returning to training in the coming weeks. We wish you a speedy recovery, Rishi. Ali Gold says that Richarlison's groin surgery is expected to keep him out for weeks rather than months. And he put a message out on social media as well. And he says, "Hey everyone, today I underwent surgery to correct a chronic issue I've been experiencing in the pubic region." I'm not sure what he means by that. I think he means pelvic region. Since the beginning of the year, I've been dealing with unbearable pain affecting my performance and joy on the field. A few days ago, I decided it was time to prioritize my health, recover and regain the physical condition for my best performance, and most importantly, to live without pain I've been feeling. Now I'm heading home to rest a bit and kick off the recovery process. I know there'll be challenging days without doing what I love most in life, but it wouldn't be fair to myself, my club, and the national team to keep neglecting my health. Very soon I'll be back, God willing, 100% recovered and ready for the challenges needed. Thanks for the messages of support, and big shout out to the club's doctors for their attentive care. Cheers.
Cheers. I love that. Go on, Rishi. Look, I'm happy for him that he's getting the surgery that he needs. And not nice to hear that he's been playing with an injury long term. And again, we just don't know these things, do we? When we're judging players on their performance levels, obviously as fans, we've got to just say what we see. And obviously Richarlison has been having an amazing season, but who knew that he was playing with an injury? So similar with Son. Like, we were criticising his performances, but no one knew that he was playing with an injury last season. All of a sudden this season, he's been much better. So hopefully once he comes back and he's comes back to his best and his full fitness, hopefully he can really start contributing to the team and have a much higher performance level, which would benefit everyone. But clearly he's had obviously a lot of problems, mental and physical, this season, so maybe this time away will really help him.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope he comes back stronger than ever, because we just haven't seen anywhere near the best of Richarlison just yet, in my opinion. But let's talk about Tanguy Ndombele again. And before we get into this, don't start being like, oh, yeah, we need someone in that position now. Let's bring him back. Super Haber, a publication in Turkey, says that Galatasaray boss Okan Buruk has given his orders to send Tanguy Ndombele back to Tottenham Hotspur in January. Galatasaray have already started the negotiations with Spurs to end Ndombele's loan and send him back in January.
Perfect timing. Maddison's out. We need a creative player. Get Ndombele in. No, I'm joking. Look,
you sure you're joking? Are you sure?
yeah, it is what it is with Ndombele. If you look, Galatasaray clearly are sick of him already. You're not even 6 months, well, not even 3 months in, 4 months in to his loan spell. So not great for him. Seems like his career is going down the tubes.
It went down the tubes a long time ago, Sim, if you didn't realise. But Ndombele, I mean, if he is... Did we have a season-long loan, or did we have break clauses in the contract? I don't know, because I think
it was a season-long loan, yeah.
If it is a season-long loan and they're trying to negotiate a deal to send him back, if I'm Daniel Levy, I'm saying no chance, you're keeping him.
I don't know. That can be discussed between them. I'm sick of talking about Ndombele at this point.
Finally. But let's finish off talking about potential January transfer business and worrying news or comments from David Ornstein. And as he says, as far as I know, there isn't much money at all for the winter transfer window. Spurs knew Kane was likely to leave and spent much of the money they would end up receiving in advance. Then some after two and both senior and youth level. So they need to be creative, and I'm sure they have targets. Whether they arrive in January, the summer, or at all, let's see. God, this doesn't sound good. There were players they wanted to shift in the summer to create space for new faces, only to see them stay put. I think they may have wanted another centre-back, so that's the one to watch, but could be even more pressing if Van de Ven is ruled out for a prolonged period of time, which he is. And Ali Gold says that Postecoglou will look for attacking players and midfielders in January should any depart the club. There are also high hopes for 19-year-old Alfie Devine, who is enjoying an impressive loan at Port Vale and could return next summer to challenge for a spot in the first team. But what's this all about? No money to spend?
Oh, they always put out that message, don't they? That there's always no money. They always sell to buy, all that kind of stuff. I don't quite buy it. I think if we really want a centre back, we'll get one. Especially, but look, I don't envisage us spending big money on one. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to go and splash 60 million or 70 million on our Tapsoba or Mark Guehi or anything like that. But if we wanted to sign like a Lloyd Kelly or a I don't know, even a Ben Godfrey or something like that, if we wanted to get a player for like 20, 30 million, I'm sure there is money there to buy that, especially given the situation we're in, given our centre-back situation. And I think Levy must know, like, if we want to sustain that challenge for top 4 or top 5, we're going to need another defender in just to cover what we have right now. And I think obviously the next 2 months is going to tell us a lot as well over, you know, whether how badly or we can cope without Van de Ven right now. But I'm sure like there'll be money there for that. I don't think, when he says no money, I don't believe there's just nothing. I don't believe that.
He says it isn't much money.
Yeah, exactly. So I believe there's money there to buy a centre-back. But again, I don't envisage us spending big money on anyone in January.
Yeah, I guess we'll only spend if the opportunity is right, as the line always is. But actually, Ange Postecoglou has been speaking in the press conference, literally hot off the press right this second. And I'll just read out the article for you with the team news. And he says, Ange Postecoglou has provided an update on a number of injury concerns ahead of Saturday's lunchtime trip to Wolves. Our head coach has confirmed that Mickey Van de Ven, who picked up a hamstring injury in Monday's defeat to Chelsea, is expected to be out of action until the new year, while he has confirmed that James Maddison, who was also forced off with an ankle injury against Blues, is also expected to be sidelined until 2024. There was a positive news on Richarlison, though, who has been undergoing surgery this week, is expected to be back in action in around 4 weeks, while Ben Davies has returned to training this week after missing Monday night's game. And the quotes are, Mickey, as we saw the other night, has a fairly significant hamstring injury, Ange confirmed. Without putting a firm timeline on it, it is at least a couple of months out. So we're looking at the new year with him. Similar to Madders, he got quite a significant ankle injury the other night, and he was sent for scans. That wasn't great, and he'll be out for a period of time, probably in the new year for him as well. Rishi has surgery, and to be fair to him, he's kind of battled through it pretty much the whole season so far. With the international window coming up, it gave us the chance to get it done now. He should only be out for 4 weeks at this stage, so not too long after the international break. The only one who is back and available is Ben Davies, which is good because we'll need him.
Oh, definitely, considering we literally don't have any defenders right now. So obviously devastating news. Van de Ven and Maddison out till the new year at least. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a big couple months ahead to see how we can cope.
Yeah. So, I mean, look.
But he loves a challenge, Ange. He loves a challenge.
Look, it is detrimental news. Hopefully that we can just get through this period without too many scathes. But it's going to be difficult, but we'll see how it goes. I still back the boys to win this weekend. A big game against Wolves at Molineux this weekend. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below if you've got any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.